I wanted to do something a little different. As you can tell by the title, this is going to be a video about how I met my husband. Because of course he wasn't my husband in the beginning. We started as friends. We were business partners, got engaged, got married. The reason I say it's a little different for today's video is because I know on my channel, this is luxury and lifestyle. So I wanted to do this lifestyle portion. It's going to be a whole series. So I decided to start the series out with how I met my husband. I am now, if you guys do not know, a military wife. So I will be doing a whole series catered to being a military wife. And I will introduce my husband in some of those videos. My video after this, I think I'm going to do him being away or going away to basic training, and then I'll incorporate him so he can tell you his perspective of being at basic training. He is now in AIT. I do get to see him now. Your girl was thirsty for being able to see him like immediately. The first weekend he got to AIT, I got to see him. So boom. But that's to come in other videos. So yeah, we're just gonna kick this video right off. If you see me looking away, it's because I'm trying to see if I am focused in my monitor. I now figured out how to do that, so hopefully my videos will be even better. Okay, so that's neither here nor there, but let's get into this video. So I am going to be inserting clips of things that I am referring to, as far as when we met and how the timeline went. This is going to go in chronological order. So I know people who are watching this video gonna be like, I wonder when Kyante met him, how long they were dating, this, that, and the third, because people think they know, but they don't. So boom, I met my now husband, my current husband, my only husband, back in October of 2017. But we are gonna rewind to August, I want to say 28th, 2017 was an event when I learned of his existence, okay? So my friend Kaya, and I hope you're watching this video, so hey girl, and my friend Nicole, hey girl, hey. Well, Kaya, someone she was dating, I'm gonna leave his name out because it's irrelevant, but someone she was dating hosted an event. It was called Lace. So it was like sexy dinner parties around Atlanta where you got invitation only. You came, you ate, you enjoyed an experience. So it was me, my friend Kaya, my friend Nicole, and some other people who were there. I previously was in a relationship. Of course, my girls knew how the relationship went. Whether they approved of the relationship or not, we're not gonna discuss. So, of course, when I became single, my friends are like, Kyante, you are a prize. Like, I want you to be with somebody who really wants to be with you. This, that, and the third. You bring so much to the table. My friend Nicole was like, well, I think I know somebody. At the time, of course, I didn't know of my husband's existence, but his father and his stepmother were there at this event. And when Nicole was like, oh, I think I know somebody, she was like, Eric, which is his dad's name. She was like, Jeremy, which is my husband's name. Isn't Jeremy, he's not in a relationship no more. I see he's single, this, that, and the third. His stepmom at the time was like, well, you know how that goes. You know, they could be together. They may not be together, whatever. We really don't know the situation, but they did break up. His dad says, well, no, they ain't get back together. I know my son. Mosley men are the marrying type. So Nicole was like, oh, so we should plan something for them to get together. You know, my girl got her degree, she got her house, she got this, she got that. You know, I think he's a nice guy based on having met him before. I think they would be, you know, cute little couple. Even if they not a couple, you know, be friends, meet, hey, they decide what they want to do. So his dad was like, cool. His stepmama was like, well, maybe we can have something at the house. Or maybe Nicole said maybe we can have something at the house. And, or meet, or they can get together maybe on a holiday. Mind you, this is August or September. I don't know. I feel like it was August, the end of August, beginning of September. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. I'm pretty sure my girl's gonna comment in the description box. I mean, in the comments down below and tell me exactly when it was. But she was like, yeah, we can have something at the house. Boom. Couple of days progress, and I think I get a notification on Facebook, or no, they send me his name. So of course I look at his Facebook. I mean, because I couldn't find him on Instagram. I don't know why. Or maybe I found him on Instagram and he was private. So, and you know, on Instagram, you can't just click on somebody's picture and just see what they look like. So, of course, what do? Go to Facebook. Everybody's on Facebook, even if they don't utilize Facebook. So, I go on Facebook and what happens? I go on Facebook and I see his profile picture. So, I'm like, okay, he's cute. He's handsome. We gonna see. So then maybe a couple of days later, after of course the event, I get a friend request. It happens to be him. Okay, then this man goes and likes my pictures. I'm like, what? We don't even know each other, you freaking psycho. No, I'm kidding, because I know he watching this, and you know he will air out my dirty laundry in the comments. But going back and forth liking pictures. So at this time, I do not know that this man has already seen me the night of the dinner party, which I later find out. And liking pictures back and forth, boom. I get a message stating that we're going to have a barbecue. Fast forward to October sometime. Oh, we're having a barbecue. We gonna do a barbecue for his birthday at Bree's house, which is his stepmom. I had already known his stepmom because she is Nicole's friend from a long time ago. Military, you know, military background people. They just basically kept in contact, best friends, all this different stuff, and have been friends forever by this time. So we had already, you know, been around each other, been to each other's houses, and done activities, girls' nights, all that different stuff. So I already knew his stepmom. So she hits me up. We gonna have a barbecue for his birthday. Come through. At this time, the time they were gonna have a barbecue, I think this was a week before I was even supposed to get my hair done. Your girl had on in a sew-in, and it was a closure sew-in. In my mind, I'm like, dang, I could take this sew-in out, or I could keep it in. Like, do I want to do my natural hair? Because at this time, I'm letting my natural hair grow out. I'm just like, baby, it's still hot outside, and you know what? I'm not even gonna take it out, knowing I should have, because the closure was going back. So when I met him, when I tell y'all, I had to get it together. I had the baby hair swooped, all this different stuff. So I think the barbecue happened to be on a Sunday, which was the day before his birthday. His birthday is October 9th. So I go over there. Before I even go over there, I'm telling Nicole what I got on. I had on a Nike shirt, some high-waist Levi's, and some Air Max. Nicole like, so you gonna wear that to meet that man? I said, you know what? I don't even care. He gonna have to take me as I am. So boom, get to the house, and I'm there. We're there for probably about an hour, 2 hours before he even show up. And he talking about, oh, because my daddy told me he was gonna text me when I was supposed to be over there, because he at the time was living in Stockbridge, so he had to come all the way to the perimeter area. So he gets there, boom, he comes in. Now this is where it gets interesting. He comes in, clearly he knows people because it's his dad, his stepmom, and then of course his little brothers are there and all this different stuff. Kaya's there, some family are there. So he comes and they're introducing him to me and Kaya because Kaya didn't know him prior to this, I think. So I think he gets introduced to Kaya first, and then they introduce him to me. I'm sitting in a chair. And I'm just like, Okay, so they're like, his dad is like, oh, and it's Kyante. It could be your future. And then I hold out my hand to give him a handshake. And they like, oh, so you're not going to give him no hug? I said, I don't hug people I don't know. But hello, how are you? And everybody started laughing. So, of course, my girl Kaya is talking about something now, Kyante. I was like, what? I don't know that man. What? It ain't going to be easy, baby. So, of course, the barbecue progresses. Everybody's sitting at the table. We eating. Then, of course, they bring out the birthday cake. And his auntie, Tiffany, she sings happy birthday to him. So I'm going to insert that clip. Of course, y'all going to see me in the back with my little Nike shirt and all that different stuff. His little brothers are in the video. It was too cute. But his aunt Tiffany sung happy birthday to him.
Kyante_232. Follow me and give me Hold on, come on, you can do it. To you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jeremy. Happy birthday to you.
Of course, he blew out the candles, boom, and let's say he wished for me. I was the birthday wish. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I'm gonna say. So, after the blowing out of the candles, of course, we did toast, and at the time, I think his stepmom had made him an apple martini, and this is when he was 26. He was turning 26. Yeah. So she made him an apple martini, and he was like, this was his first time really drinking. I think they had went out, him and his friends had went out like the night before and got some drinks, but my husband did not drink until he was 26 years old, okay? My husband now, he doesn't drink. He might drink some wine, of course, when I'm drinking. I'll be like, babe, taste it, da-da-da-da. But he's not a drinker. He's not a smoker. And when I say smoke, he doesn't smoke cigarettes. He doesn't smoke cannabis, none of that. He won't even do hookah. Like, my husband is just so clean cut. It's just him. I love it. It's awesome. So, but that weekend he was drinking. So she made him an apple martini. I was like, oh, let me stir it for you, because you got to stir in the caramel, so it sweetens up the drink. Because if you don't drink, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be strong. Boom. So I stir it for him. I guess the way I stirred it, this man talking about something. Ooh, I knew right then when you stirred my drink, it was on. Boy, bye. So as we're drinking, everybody in there talking, of course, people hyping me. You know, my friends boosted me. Oh, she got a degree. She got a house. She do this. She do that. She do lashes on the side. She got her own business. Da-da-da-da-da. So everybody starts to trickle out the room. And we're so deep in conversation that we not noticing it until I'm like, I'm thirsty. Let me get something to drink. And I look around the kitchen and ain't nobody in there. Then his little brothers start playing all this like slow jam music, 90s R&B. And I'm like, really? Y'all are doing the most. His little brother Dre come in there. Oh, I just came in here to get something to drink. And then he goes out of the kitchen. So we're in there basically talking majority of the night. Then everybody, I guess, starts to come back in the kitchen, having an adult conversation. And by the end of the night, when it's time for me to go, nobody's in there. I think his dad and his dad's homeboys have gone outside, talking, all that different stuff in the garage. People somewhere, like the kids playing video games. People somewhere probably playing dominoes or cards or something. I don't know what his dad was doing. I feel like that's what they were doing. So at the time, it was time for me to go. I don't want to wear out my welcome, but we've been talking for a long time at this point. So he's like, he gets up, and I was like, oh, it was nice to meet you, da-da-da-da-da. So he's like, okay, and I finally give him a hug, because I think he stands up and reaches to give me a hug, so I finally give him a hug. And I guess I never knew how tall he was before, because when I gave him a hug, I was like, oh, this nigga tall. I think, yeah. I was like, okay. So my husband, how tall is he? He gotta be 6'1". I'm gonna give him 6'2". I'm gonna give him his inches. So he's tall. And who knew you wanted a man above 6 feet? Cause baby, let me tell you, it's awesome. But anyway, so we give each other a hug, and then I was like, okay, bye. And he was like, what you mean bye? Like, I'm about to walk you to the car. I was like, the car is just right outside the garage. He was like, what is you talking about? I'm gonna walk you to the car. So we're walking, and we walk through the living room and then the garage where I think his dad was. And his dad like, oh, where you going, J-Mo? And he was like, oh, I'm walking her to the car. She about to leave. And I'm like, I told this man he don't gotta walk me to the car. He was like, no, don't do that. Mosley man is gentleman. Them two with this Mosley man. I was like, okay, bro. So he walks me to my car, and we exchange numbers, and he's like, can you please let me know when you make it home? I was like, okay. So I text him when I get home, hey, I made it home, but I think I text him later. Like, I didn't text him right away when I got home. I'm like, I'll text him, whatever. Because maybe I wasn't used to texting someone when I made it home. I don't know. Maybe I was playing hard to get. Who knows? But I texted him later after a while. So I was like, hey, I made it home, in bed, boom. So he was like, oh, thanks for letting me know you made it home, da-da-da-da-da. It was some small talk. I'm like, what y'all doing? I guess they was still drinking. He had a drink with his dad. You know, they sat down, conversed. And this man is, when I tell you clean cut, he was even like, oh, I'm staying over here tonight because I've been drinking. Boy, you had about 2 drinks. What are you talking about? But I guess better safe than sorry. Guys, I am sorry. I am not encouraging drinking and driving, but he had 2 drinks. They weren't even that strong, but I'm gonna let him have it. So I think that was a Sunday. So then the following days, of course, to come, texting. At this time, he was a full-time realtor. So we're texting all this different stuff. So of course, he has a lot of time on his hands. So I'm like, oh, if you want to see me, pull up. Mind you, he's staying in Stockbridge. At the time, I was working in Decatur. He pulled up to Decatur, and I think that day a marketer had bought in some cupcakes. And I think I asked him, or when we were talking, when we was at his dad's house, he said he liked red velvet. I remember because, you have to pay attention to details, ladies. So I remember that, got him a red velvet cupcake. So when he came, he was like, oh, thanks, da-da-da-da-da. He sat in my office with me for a little while. We chopped it up. After that, I invited him. I was like, well, one day this week, because I cook for myself, because I was cooking for myself because I meal prepped. But he'll say I was cooking for him. So cooking for myself, I was like, hey, one day this week when I cook, maybe you can come over. Because he kept on saying, oh, you can't cook this, that, and the third. Yes, his previous situation. Because we gonna say it was a situation. Matter of fact, who cares about that situation? But I guess she could cook. And I was like, baby, don't play me. I can cook, okay? They say, oh, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So you gonna see what I can do. So I happened to cook one night that week. He came over. Oh my God. Go ahead, do it. This is you making memories with me.
Okay. I don't know why I'm doing it.
He did not stay over. I was like, it's late. I gotta go to work in the morning. At this time, I had a 3-bedroom house, a townhome. So I was like, if you want to stay, you can stay in my guest room. If it's too late for you to drive. I think we had some wine and all this different stuff. He claims I was trying to set the mood. I claim, because I know, that I just light candles, drink wine, and kick it all the time. I was finally done with grad school, so I was living my best life. When I tell y'all I was living my best life before I got in a relationship with Jeremy, I was living my best life, okay? I was doing what I wanted to do, going out, having my self-care moments, and then boom, he came, and I was still doing the same thing when we was just friends. So him telling me I was trying to set the mood, boy, no. So came over that night, we kicked it. I told him he could stay because it was late, but he was like, no, I can go home, no worries. And this is because where he was living was like 50 minutes from me. And it probably had to be 11:30, 12, 1 in the morning by the time he left. So after that, literally after the first time he came to my house, we were literally together every day. After that. But our first, dang, I missed the part. Our first official date, I told him, which was the Monday. That's what it was. I met him on a Sunday. Monday, I told him, hey, or he asked what I was doing or something like that. And I said, maybe we can meet up at a park or something like that. So we met at Old Fourth Ward Skate Park, and it was late. When I tell y'all, it was late, it was late. Like, I went to work, I went to the gym, I was freaking tired. I think I hadn't eaten all day because my day was so busy. And I was like, well, I'll stop at Starbucks or something like that and get us some coffee, like, bro, because I don't even know how I'm gonna make it. So we met at the park. It was late at night. We like sat in the I guess the playground area on this like little circle swing. If anybody has been to Old Fourth Ward Skate Park, you know where I'm talking about. It's this little circle swing. We both sat on it and was just talking. And I guess that's how we learned each other. So then that's when I was like, well, if you want to see me, I guess, you know, pull up. He pulled up to my job the following day. And then a couple of days later, I made him dinner at my house. So fast forward a couple of weeks, I had a work trip. I had to fly to Ohio. Mind you, we had been together every day since we had met each other, talking about business and stuff like that, since he was a realtor. And I was going out of town for the work trip, and he was devastated, like, because we literally had been together every day, talked about everything. I will say, when meeting him was a breath of fresh air, because of the simple fact that from jump, when I tell you this man was brutally honest, he was brutally honest. And I'm saying that because for realtors, yes, he was a full-time realtor, and at the time still trying to figure out what he really wanted to do, because he did go to school. He does have a degree. It's in criminal justice, but he didn't want to settle in a job. He wanted a career. So with that being said, he was a full-time realtor, but everybody knows that with real estate, you get paid as your transactions happen. You don't get paid until closing. So of course they have set budgets and things like that. So he lives off a specific amount of money a month. And he was like, look, you know, we kicking it or whatever, we may not always be able to do what you want to do, or I may not always have the funds for it, but I want you to know up front that this is what it is. And I told him I could appreciate that, because I will say in my previous relationship, it wasn't full transparency or communication without either one of us always feeling judged. So that's why I say when I met him, it was a breath of fresh air. I think I had to go through past relationships and situations to be fully ready for my current. So fast going back to me going out of town, him being distraught with us being together every day. And then when I came back, I think I came back on a Friday or something like that, and he asked me, hey, can we go to church this weekend? And I was like, okay. So I'm like, ain't nobody like literally asked me, can we go to church and things like that. So I'm like, okay, we can go to church. I'm thinking, because we didn't specify what church we were going to, I thought I was going to take him to my home church. And anybody know, when you take somebody to church with you and you taking them to your home church, oh, you going to see your old pros. I'm not even flexing. I just feel like church is a place where, you know, you happen to run into people from your past. So Sunday morning, I think we wake up, we get ready for church. He's driving and we go to his home church. So us going to his home church, of course, this was the church he attended when he was in high school, the church he attended with his mom. I'm pretty sure him and whoever he may have been messing with before probably went to the church, whatever. At this time, we're not even in a relationship. So I think that was big for him to be like, do you want to go to church with me? I'm just like, and it may not be big to some people, but that was big to me. So we go to church together, and after, like, we're in church, and you know how visitors stand, the pastor asks visitors to stand and stuff like that. I stood, of course, when, you know, they do praise and worship. He's knowing the songs, you know, we standing up. When they do the prayer, he's pulling my hand for me to stand up. And then when the pastor started praying before his sermon, like, he grabbed my hand tight, and we started praying together. And I'm like, what? This is new. So at that point, I was like, okay, I'm a rock with this man. Even if we're not in a relationship, like, I feel like from the time of us meeting to then, I was like, okay, I was like, yeah, we're going to be cool. But I didn't know it was going to be to the extent, of course, that it is now. But so, yeah, after that, I think went home, ate, and I think, did we kiss? I think that was the first time we kissed like that. Like a passionate kiss. It might have been a little peck here too, you know, when we're saying goodbye. But, and I remember before he left, he like pulled me in like to his arms, guys. I'm being so overdramatic. Pulled me into his arms and was like, you know what? I really like you, and this, that, and the third. So after that, it was just like being inseparable before was not to the extent we were inseparable. I used to be like, do you want to stay over my house? I mean, because I got my own spot. Like, you want to stay? Like, come on. You can stay over. Like, not me being thirsty, but like, you can just stay at my house instead of always going home. And he was like, no, I don't want to stay at your house until I meet your dad and this, that, and the third. So when we used to talk to I'd be on the phone with my dad because I talk to my dad and my brother all the time. I used to be like, who is that in the background? And I was like, oh, that's new friend. Because we weren't in a relationship. So when he would speak to his family or I would speak to my family, we was like, oh, that's new friend, this, that, and the third. So fast forward to that summer, which is, we're in 2018 at this point, we decided to start a real estate redevelopment business together. It was expensive, and I had never worked with anyone at this point, like a significant other, because yes, I feel like we're significant others at this point, and investing in something with somebody, like fully trusting somebody with my money, never. But him being a realtor, yes, trusted him. And boom, we started a real estate redevelopment company, Model Property Solutions, where we would flip homes, wholesale homes, and things like that. And yeah, and I'll just say I made some money the first year. When I did my taxes, your girl made some money. So being able to trust somebody with my money and stuff like that was different. Us communicating and being fully transparent with each other, different as hell. Praying together, traveling together. Oh, our first freaking trip was literally like in December. His sister was graduating from college. He asked me to go, and I was just like, wait, that's around your family. That's around what? Our first holiday that we were with each other, I did my holiday that Thanksgiving, of course, because I knew him, of course, in November. The first Thanksgiving I spent with my family, he was like, oh, you can come over here and get something to eat. So I spent it with my family. Then I went and got, house hopped to his house. Christmas, we bought each other gifts, and woo, child. So fast forward to, I'm skipping 2019, because at this point, we're just always together. Everybody knows him. We are not posting each other on social media because that's just something we decided that we were not going to do. If we are not in a relationship or a committed relationship with each other, if we're not monogamous, none of that. I don't want you out here looking stupid. And he didn't want me out there looking stupid. So if that's not what we doing, if we're not exclusively dating each other, we're not posting each other, period. I was never into the social media posting because in previous situations, I just knew what it was. But I think the first time I posted him was when we went to New York. And We went for like a week. We stayed with my cousin Dorian in Brooklyn, and we had an amazing time. It was the first time he had been to New York, so I was like, let's go to New York. So I think I posted him in my IG story. Everybody know the story gonna disappear in 24 hours, so boom, we ain't really posted each other. But of course, posted the trip. So I don't even really know when that was, but we literally were going on trips once a month, taking road trips. We gone out the country with each other. I had never done that with anyone else, and I mean anyone. I mean, no relationship had I ever traveled with my significant other except one time. That was for my birthday, and that was a fail. But anyway, but yeah, traveling out the country, traveling everywhere in the US. We decided to do a freaking travel in our Apple Notes on our phone. We decided to do a travel list of places we wanted to go together. Our first freaking 2 years together. That includes countries and states, and just having a good time. We both don't have kids, not married, don't have obligations, so we just spent money on each other. When it came to like gifts and trips, it was like, I'm not saying money is not an option, but let's enjoy life, because life is too short. Fast forward to 2019, we're freaking living together at this point. I sold my house. We moved in together. Is it? Yeah, sold my house. We moved in together. And I sold my house because the market was good. It was a seller's market. I list my price, boom. You want it, you want it. You don't, you don't. Another person will. Sold my house. We decided to move into with each other. And COVID hits. So we're literally, he's going to work every day because he was working in healthcare at this time. I'm still working in healthcare. COVID hits, and we're literally on top of each other when we come in from work all the time because you can't do anything. So 2019, I will say, tested our relationship. It did. Because you find out things about people that you may not want to find out. But I will say it tested our relationship. We decided to, at this time, as a collective, decided to do counseling. I feel like everybody knows that mental health is, your mental health is a big thing. So COVID hitting, us being on top of each other, emotions running high, you not knowing what tomorrow brings. We both started going to counseling, and then we went to counseling as a couple. I feel like we had fell off with like praying together, so we started praying together again, really being invested in our spiritual grounding and our relationship with God in 2019 coming into 2020. And after during COVID in 2020, we sort of kind of like separated from each other. He went to one house, I was in one house, and we had time apart because, like I said, COVID tested us, okay? And I'm not saying, no, have I never said we're perfect or anything like that, or I have a perfect relationship, but of course relationships take work. I feel like that time, our separation from each other really showed us who we were to each other, and really allowed us to appreciate each other even more. So with that separation, baby, came a ring. So fast forward to October 2020. I will say, and this is not for everybody, so let me get my water. At the beginning, we had talked about dating with a purpose. When I say dating with a purpose, at the time we started dating, he was turning 26. Then I turned 26. I think I was 25 at the time he was turning 26, or he had turned 26 when I met him. So at this point, I'm 25 when I met him. I have my master's, I have a house, I have a couple of cars, I have a lot going for myself. Not trying to toot my own horn, but I have experienced a lot of stuff at this point in my life, and at this point I'm dating with a purpose. Like, I know what I want, I know what I deserve, I know what I bring to the table, because I'm the table, I'm the chairs, I'm the forks, the knives, the spoons, the cups, the wine. I am the full course meal that you're going to have. Like, yes, I am confident in knowing that I have done the work on myself, and in past relationships till now, that I know what I want, so I'm dating with a purpose. So with that being said, and this is no shade to anyone, any woman, any man. This is no shade. This is how I felt. I am not going to be in a relationship with you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years down the road, and it's just a relationship. Like, I know they say in your 20s, be selfish, live for you, but at that point in my life, there comes a time where you're like, I have reached so much success, I want to be able to share that with someone. And yes, you could share success with the person just being in a relationship, like boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever. Marriage is not for everyone, but I knew what I wanted. And maybe that's because I grew up in a 2-parent household. But when we first got together, that's what we discussed. So I said, I got a time frame. My time frame is beyond 3 years. I'm like, Nick, what we doing? What are we doing? And he was basically the same way. He was like, I'm dating with a purpose going forward. I just don't want to be out here sleeping with any and everybody, you know. I've had my fun. We both went to HBCUs, and I went to a PWI as well. So we know what the party in life is about. We know what it is to be out in Atlanta or wherever you live, living your best life, going to the club, going out with friends. But there comes a time where you just gotta figure it out. So I guess he knew that the 3-year mark was ticking. Okay, so October 7th. Because when did we go out of town? I don't know. Let me look. October, I want to say, I think, and don't quote me. This bad, I got to look at my calendar. Because when I tell you that everything happened so freaking quick. Okay, I just had to make sure. So, before his birthday, we have a group of friends that we're super close to. I'm not even gonna say friends, family, that we're super close to. My cousin and her boyfriend, then my friend Malcolm, which is damn near like my brother. We grew up together since I've lived in Georgia. So my family, it's a group of us. We go on trips together. We do everything together when it's like comes to going out of town, celebrating each other. Guys, if you do not have a group of friends that you can do this with, alongside, of course, my girls group, but a group of couples that you can travel with, I say, get y'all, millennials, have some friends you can travel with. It's the best thing. Couples trips and girls trips, best thing ever. I'm happy that everybody gets along. Boom. So the night before we were going to Las Vegas for his birthday, he had never been to Vegas. So I was like, oh, let's do a trip to Vegas. It was a surprise trip to Vegas that I had planned with our friends. So we were going to dinner to pop the birthday weekend off because his birthday is on the 9th, like I said. So on the 7th, I'm doing all this running around. I got to get my nails done. I still hadn't did my wig. My wig wasn't going to be done till the next day before we was leaving. He was running around because he was doing his FBI physical fitness test. So he was getting ready for that and all this different stuff. Child, when I tell you, I think after work, I was trying to get some stuff done, which was get my nails done. I'm running behind. We were supposed to be at dinner at 7. I told them, y'all, look, I'm running behind at the nail shop. Let's push it back. Boom. To 7:30. So we push it back. I go home. I don't even remember what I had on. I thought what I had on was cute enough to wear to dinner. He was like, ma'am, what you got on? You need to change. That wig that you got on now, you gonna like curl it, do something? And I was like, what? Leave me alone. Like, you know when you at work and right before you about to leave to go on vacation, it's just like fires. You gotta put out fires all the time. And I'm like, bruh, you doing the most. Like, leave me alone. I was so irritated getting ready. So, boom, I put on a burgundy dress. And he has on all black and puts on burgundy shoes. I'm like, why you want to match me today? Like, ugh, you get on my nerve. Da, da, da. And he was like, babe, like, calm down. You doing too much. So as we're in the car riding to dinner, I'm thinking about this now, and I've thought about it prior to this video. But this man is like playing all kinds of slow music, and I'm just like, oh, he must be trying to get something later. Okay, whatever. What is he setting the mood for? But we typically always listen to slow music, so I wasn't really in that mind frame at that point. Like, my mind was just going, hoping that thinking about his birthday trip, hoping everything would go accordingly, da 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 da. So we get down to the area, where were we at? In Imam Park, I think, where we were supposed to be going to eat, because we were going to Barcelona for dinner. As we're passing the restaurant, I'm like, babe, what is you doing? You remember last time we came here? We park right there. You ain't got to pay. He like, nah, I'm about to park around the corner. I'm like, why? I have on these 6-inch freaking heels. You do not want to get cussed out tonight. I'm not walking 6-7 blocks to go eat some fucking food. Like, I was talking through my teeth when I tell y'all I was mad. And he know when I get mad. And he was like, babe, no, I could just park here. I said, turn your ass around. I am not. When I tell y'all I was mad. And ladies, y'all know, when you know the shoe you got on is not comfortable like that, it's only for a look. I said, baby, you not about to be making me walk. So as we're coming from the parking lot, he's turning back around to go to the parking lot I told him to park in the first place. Cause man, your woman always right. So listen, I hear, hey yo, I look and I see a Ford F-150 truck. And I said, that sounds like my daddy. Why would my daddy be down here? And I turned and I was like, no, that ain't my daddy. Putting it out my mind. So I should have knew then it wasn't my daddy. See, I be knowing I know my daddy voice. But I was like, why would he be in this area? My daddy don't even be on this type of vibe for food. So I was like, no, that couldn't be him. So we parked. My cousin dude talking about we called him. We like, where y'all at? Oh, we at this wine shop across the street because we got reservations, but they said it's a wait. They got to clean the table, da 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 da. So her boyfriend's like, where y'all at? I don't see y'all. And I'm like, what? Why is everybody acting so weird? Period. So we go to the wine shop, Vinoteca. Thank you. I'll link that information down below if you guys want to do any wine tastings or anything like that. Bomb spot. It's small and quaint. It's like a little, I don't know. It was just a vibe. So we go in and it's just my cousin and her boyfriend and the manager. At the time, I thought my cousin said it was her friend that just happened to be over there because, like I said, my mind was racing. So we go in there. It's quiet. They just sitting up there drinking. It was 4 glasses for my cousin, her boyfriend, me, and Jeremy. She pours us this, I think it was rosé. When I tell y'all, everybody loved the fucking rosé from my engagement dinner. So we sitting there, and my cousin starts talking. And we're turned to each other. Jeremy is sitting here. My cousin's boyfriend's on the other side, my cousin. And we just talking. And she's acting weird. She was like, oh, girl, you look cute. This, that, and the third. So what did you do today? This, and I'm blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, girl, why are you asking me so many questions? And then she did like something to my face. She was like, oh, my God, you just da-da-da-da. And then her boyfriend over there, like, I see him fidgeting, or moving, but I don't really know what he's doing. So then the lady gets up and she goes to the back. Mind you, I'm thinking the lady was just rude because my cousin had said her name and I forgot how the lady was really acting, but I was just like, okay, weirdo. So I'm so sorry, but I was like, what? So, and maybe because I just had so much on my mind, that's what I'm attributing it to. So, goes to the back and then her starts playing. My husband knows, so we went to a her concert, fell in love with her, the artist, and that's when we vibing, drinking, having conversation and stuff like that, date nights, we always our go-to is her and Khalid. So it starts playing and I'm like, And then my cousin's boyfriend backs up, stands up, and has the phone. And I'm like, what? And then Jeremy is like, you have something in your eye. And I'm like, oh, I can get it. And I try to hold my phone to my thing, and he puts it down. Because what I don't know is our family and friends are standing behind us. He tells me to get up, and then he grabs both my hands. I turn, I'm like, where's my dad? I start crying immediately. And then I see my dad. And I was like, oh my God, I knew it. And everybody like, girl, turn to him. Turn to him. So I turn around, and he's on one knee, proposing. And we're just both crying. He's crying. His glasses are fogging up. I got to take the glasses off. And he proposes. And we just basically have a nice, intimate dinner and wine tasting with our close friends and families, because it was COVID, so the venue could only have 12 people, but we had people on FaceTime. When I tell y'all, I had no idea, because prior to this, he had got laid off from his job, because since it was COVID, jobs were cutting hours, so he got laid off. I don't know how he did it, what he did, but that man did a damn good job with picking my ring, setting up everything for me, not knowing what he was doing. I didn't know he was spending a lot of money prior to. And I was like, you always spending money, da 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 da. Every time I come home, it's something, and it ain't for me. And I guess it was the thing that was for me was my ring. So that was the start to an epic birthday weekend. We went to Vegas with our friends, had an amazing time, did karaoke, all this different stuff. So of course I'll insert clips. But everything was more than I could have asked for. Of course, at this time, like I said, he still wasn't working. And me and his mom were like having conversations where she was like, oh yeah, he proposed, and he knows, he feels like now time is of the essence. Like he has to find a job. Yes, he was getting unemployment. Everybody know the unemployment was good, but we like, when the unemployment gonna run out? He was taking different classes, getting certifications and stuff like that. And he was just like, you know what? I got to make a career move, because I want to be like married today. And we're going to want to have kids and this, that, and that. So one day I'm at work, and I'll never say we get into arguments, because we don't. I like to argue. He look at me like I'm crazy. We're in a discussion, and he's like, I'm like, so what you gonna do? Like, do you want to go to the military? You want to go work for Delta again? Do you want to pick up real estate full time? I know we have money coming in and we got investments and stuff like that, but bro, what we doing? We want overflow. And he was like, yeah, I know, da 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 da. A couple of days go by. This man then told me he went and took the ASVAB for the military. I said, wait. And he like scored super high on the practice test, and they were like, since you scored high, you may not have to take the test again. We'll just use your score for that. And I was like, are you ready for this? Like, you gonna be away. Like, you've always been the person that tells me you don't want to do the military. Mind you, both of his parents retired out the military. My parents retired out the military. My brother's in the military. Like, we're just a family of military people. So I don't think that's something he wanted to do, but he was like, you know what? Never say never. He said at first that was his last resort, and now look, he's in, excelling, doing very well, and he loves it. So before he left, everybody was like, oh, y'all getting married before you leave, right? And he was like, shit, we can go tomorrow and get married. I don't care. And I was just like, what? So we got engaged October 7th. We literally got married on our anniversary. So we got married November 19th of 2020. Of course, because of COVID restrictions and things like that, we knew that people wouldn't be willing to travel because it was the unknown. So we had literally just came back from Vegas. We weren't asking our close friends to come. We were like, we can do this between me and you, and that's it. Of course, we tell our parents, and they're like, oh, we're coming. No, y'all are not going by yourselves. We are coming. So my dad had got COVID or tested positive for COVID, so he couldn't come. He was quarantined, but his mom did come, and she was our witness. And auntie came, or his godmom, auntie, whatever, his mom's best friend. Her and her husband came, his mom, and her dude came, and we just had a intimate small ceremony in Vegas. Same day turnaround. We got up on, I think it was a Thursday or a Friday, whatever the 19th of November was. It might have been a Saturday, I don't remember, but we got up, we went down to the marriage certificate office, did our marriage certificate, was in and out within 5 minutes, which was crazy. I was like, so we officially married? And then literally at 3 o'clock had a wedding ceremony, same day turnaround, and we were married. We went to dinner. Of course, I'll insert the pictures here. But we went to dinner, and then we just enjoyed it. And we've been enjoying each other ever since. But we got married in November, and then he got shipped out in January for basic training. So we didn't get to have that, new honeymoon phase, because I feel like we did that the whole time we were dating. So we know what it is to be a married couple for 2 months, and then don't know what it is to be a married couple. But we were together so long prior that it's like, I don't feel like it's registered to us that it's changed, because it is a document, but a document that I will hold near and dear to my heart. But yeah, 3 years, almost 4 years in, 2017 to now, I will say it's been a fun ride. This ain't no crazy roller coaster of changes and all of that different stuff. I can truly say I literally found my best friend. I'm closing my eyes because I don't want to cry. But I am gonna cry. I found my best friend, guys, and I will say, if you are a millennial or whatever age you are, find that person that you can have fun with, talk to, love unconditionally. Love is not with condition to me, and I hate when people are in relationships where it is. But find somebody who is truly your best friend, regardless of if it's same sex or whatever. Don't let anybody come in between a great bond that you build with somebody. But yeah, this has been the most or best almost 4 years of my life with a significant other, now my husband. And I will say I wouldn't change it. All of the stuff that we've gone through, whether it bad or good, I wouldn't change it, because it has brought us to this exact moment. But yeah, I hope you guys stay to the end. I hope you guys enjoy that story time. I love telling it. I didn't think I was gonna cry, but boom, here we are, and I'm crying. So the next video in this series, stay tuned, is going to be me becoming a military wife, which I am now, a army wife. The misconceptions of being an army spouse. Even though I've only been it for maybe 3 months at this point, I'll tell you my take on it right now, the benefits and things like that. And of course, I'll bring my husband in to tell you as well. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the rest of the videos in this series. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.